Okay, let's see. This is my first video I am making. I guess I was challenged to do 100 days of videos. And been racking my brain trying to think of a name to call this. And I was joking around last night and I said, maybe I'll call it my big toe on my right foot or my right big toe. And then today I was talking with my neighbor and they said maybe I'll call it my neighbor Bonnie. We had a big laugh about that. Um, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and well, all the good names are taken, like Dr. Pimple Popper or all the acne ones, or they're pretty gross, but they're pretty just I don't know, interesting in a sense, I guess. And I watch like TV shows that are just the clips of them, like My 600 Pound Life, and then different people's videos. And some people are competition eaters, and some people are just eaters or foodies or whatever you want, mukbangers or whatever. I'm not sure. And some of them say, "Oh, I am on this diet," and you watch them gain weight, gain weight, gain weight, and you feel sorry for them, or you feel whatever, you know. And there's some people that have a video and they stretch the truth or basically lie. So my girlfriend said that I could probably find an audience that would listen to me because I have a excuse me, have a tendency to ramble on about nothing and everything, and I don't have a tripod yet, so so I'd like to apologize for that. I ordered one, so we'll be here within a month or 20 days or 7 days, whatever. One day, 100 days, all the same. So this is video one. I guess I start this on the 1st of January. It's now the 2nd because it's after midnight, but I'm going to call it still the 1st. You know, I don't know what to tell you about myself or what to talk about or what to call the vlog or whatever's. This is my work behind me. It's a giant octopus picture, and it's actually 3D. I mean, here, look. I mean, the foot hangs off here, and I did that out of all scrap materials, and it's paper mache, but I happen to love it. And like inside those suckers, it actually glows in the dark because I use glow in the dark paint, and I couldn't figure out what to put around it, so I put planets and stars, just to be something because I get bored. I've been on a disabled list for since 2016, and getting disabled really changes your life in a lot of aspects, and a lot of those aspects are sucky, and you got to navigate your way through all kinds of stuff. It's not fun, and it's not easy, and it's not hard, but it's really, I'd say, annoying in a lot of senses. You know, I got injured on my job, and my job failed to recognize it. They did not want to recognize it, so because they don't want to be responsible, and their insurance is I don't know if I can name names or not, but so this time I will, and I'll find out if I can or cannot. But Gallagher Bassett, I tell you what, they are just ruthless, heartless people. Here I am disabled, and they didn't see it like such. So I had to apply for Social Security disability, and I like to call it social insecurity because the pay you get is just, you know, crap. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and rent is high here, and the cost of living's high here. And I'm sorry, the amount of money I get and the amount of rent I have to pay and everything else leaves me with very little. And I'm not complaining, I'm just stating facts, But there's one benefit. I was able to get my student loans forgiven because of my disability. And that's a big sigh of relief and a big yay. and I thought it was going to be so difficult. And so when I called up, you know, Nelmet, and I asked them about, my student loans and becoming disabled and having to pay these things. And they said, well, you call up Social Security and you get this form, you mail it to us, and they make a decision. And on the 12th of, sorry, the 19th of December, I had received a letter from them, and I'm like, oh, they're probably going to deny me. But surprisingly, I was just so happy they forgiven my student loans. And I don't know if I'm supposed to look at the camera or not look at the camera, so I'm just going to ramble on elsewhere. Um, Finding a good doctor, because you lose your work insurance, and then you have to find a different doctor that takes, I'm going to stay state, but Medicare, Medicaid, and that's kind of really difficult. And I started out with a really good physician assistant, nurse practitioner, or whatever. No, she was a PA. But anyways, Catherine there, and she was really good, and she helped me with a lot of stuff, health wise. And then she retired, and I had got assigned another doctor, and the second doctor, me, I just did not like her. And I was lucky enough because I had state insurance because how my benefits were set up. I had state insurance for a part and regular disability insurance. It's confusing, but anyhow, she helped me. The woman with Melina, her name is Erin. Erin has helped me immensely. She helped me find a new doctor. And this new doctor I have, he's also a physician's assistant. He is spot on. He's from Cuba, and his name is, somehow it escapes me right now because I have problems with my memory, and I apologize if I repeat myself. But he's a great doctor, and he's really compassionate and understanding and real knowledgeable, which is great. So I appreciate him in my life. And the condition I have is CRPS, which stands for Complex Regional Pain Syndrome. And if you want a horror story, you can read about it. I live it. I don't have to read about it. But I guess it gives you suicidal ideations. And according to my care plan through because I got hooked up with Aging and Disability Services, which is another thing that has really been gratefully entering my life, and I'm really grateful for it. I got it because my first doctor, Catherine, there, and I was telling her I'm falling in the showers. I'm having a hard time getting dressed, and that because of this condition. And well, she got a hold of Aging and Disability Services, and they assigned me a worker to help me in my house, and that's like a really big blessing. And anyways, as these videos go on, I will tell you more. I have a cat, and well, there's two cats in our household. We have Fat Boy and Ungrateful. And Ungrateful is currently right. Let's see if I can catch him in the camera. Right there's Ungrateful, and he's a good cat. He's a little bit crazy. He's a little bit wild. He's one of those what they call catch and release. They catch males and fix them. And anyways, he was kind of feral, and me and him made friends because, like I said, becoming disabled, I hurt all the time, and so I'd sit out in my back patio. Maybe someday, if it's nice, we'll sit out there and we'll talk. Anyways, I made friends with him, and he's now my cat, I guess. I also have two dogs, and they're service animals. One's name is Gator, and one's name is Jack. Well, Jack Rabbit, but anyhow, they're good pups. They're brothers. They turned a year old in November, and Gator is so different than his brother. Gator is like real, um, like love me and be nice, and real easy to say train, you know. And Jack is kind of stubborn and, you know, wants to lick you in the face all the time or flip his hand in your face. But he's a sweetheart. He'll lay beside me and just let me love on him and everything else. So they're great dogs. And I'm glad to have those in my life. You know, I was doodling before I started this, and I'll see if I can catch my picture. Maybe you can see it, maybe not. It's like a deer head skull or whatever. I doodle a lot because, well, like I said, I get bored. I you know, I'm used to working in my head. I still want to go back to work, but you know, you can't. And I have to accept that, and that took me a long time. And sometimes I still miss work. I miss it really bad. And I know some people out there is probably thinking, how the heck can you miss work? Well, I'll tell you what, you get stuck at your house for days on end. You know, it's like cabin coop. Well, you're not on vacation and you never go anywhere, maybe just to the grocery store. And even going to the grocery store is like, oh gosh, I it painful. You know, I dread going down the freezer aisles because of the compressors. They just, they just make me hurt. It's not good, not bad. So I always have to find the blessing there. But this CRPS, I guess it gives you what they call suicidal ideations because the pain is so intense. I'll tell you how intense it is. I would have a massive pain flare and I'd grit my teeth. And I end up breaking out almost all my teeth because of the pain. And thank you, Aaron, for helping me get my new teeth. Thank you to the state of Washington for paying for my new teeth. I mean, I was so, I had called and kept trying to make an appointment to see about getting my teeth removed, the broken teeth. And well, Erin called finally because she, you know, I had tried, and I asked her, "Can you help me with this?" And she said, "Sure." She sat there on my couch beside me, made a phone call, had me an appointment to get my teeth pulled, and then had me an appointment to get dentures. So I get the lawyer dentures, but they're beautiful. They look good. They, you know, they're really helpful to eat, but there's some drawbacks like your top of your palate's covered, or sometimes if you eat something hot, it can get underneath your plates. But you know, heck, I can enjoy eating for the most part. And some things you have to relearn how to bite into, pull off, and that. But you know, no more cavities, no more hot and cold. You can bite down on ice or popsicles, and it's kind of really wonderful, you know, to have them. So, well, it's not kind of, it is wonderful to have them because most people look at you kind of funny when you have missing teeth or no teeth, you know. So, for all those people out there needing teeth, get a hold of your insurance and get teeth. I'm telling you, get those old ones pulled out if you had just bad teeth. And the dentists have changed because I was really scared when I went to see the oral surgeon. And I went up to Oregon, OH, Oregon Health Sciences University, and it's a teaching school, and to have them pull my teeth. So, you know, there's students learning how, and I was really apprehensive, but they knock you out. And, you know, even the oral surgeon that saw me just had me open up and we looked. We didn't poke at them and all that other scary stuff that I always freaked out about. They're going to take that hook thing and jab it up in your teeth. And no, it was none of that. She used a cotton swab, the long wooden handled cotton swabs, to look. And she said, okay, fine. And then they took me in there and they had to put the tube up my nose to intubate me because, you know, they don't want to go through the mouth because they're pulling teeth. So they did a really good job, and it wasn't painful after they had pulled them all. You know, once I got out of all the anesthesia and like the next day, I wasn't in pain at all, which is really surprising. And I think it's because they did such a great job where they're not reefing against you and you're fighting against them. because you're knocked out. And it was a great experience. So I'm going to try to really stay positive. But anyhow, so I see also a therapist, and her name is Bobby. And I didn't start with Bobby. I started with a man named Ian, and Ian was really wonderful. And it was like I could have a shop talk, like at work where you talk with all the guys. Because I've always worked with uh, men, is male dominant industries, and so I could have shop talk. And he was a young guy, so he was amazed by some of the things that how I grew up, because I think he was probably like 24, 25, and I'm in my 50s, so I think he was kind of amazed by that, like we could get hit as kids, and not but anyhow, child abuse is child abuse, but whatever, and just how I grew up was so different of a world, he was kind of amazed by. And then I had another woman after he had left and went back home to where he was from. So then I had a woman, and this woman was okay, but it was just like I didn't click with her. And that's when you say it's okay to change therapy or therapist, because if you're not relating or you're not jiving, it's not doing you any benefit. So now I have Bobby, and Bobby's a young woman. I would say maybe she's 30, 32, and she's a good woman. I have an appointment coming up with her on the 15th. I have to say these things because I forget a lot. And that's okay, because some things are worth forgetting and some things aren't. But, you know, it's all part of the thing called life, I guess. But I told my friend that figuring out how much time to you do these things, and I don't want to bore anybody, but, you know, so I'm just going to ramble on and I guess do this every day for at least 100 days. And if you have any ideas to what you want to talk about or any topics, maybe I'll talk about it, because I know a lot of random stuff just because I read a lot of different books, or watch random YouTube videos, or I can give you my opinion on things. And I don't think my opinions are bad for the most part, and I'll always try to leave you guys with a bad joke and a good piece of advice. And maybe I'll stop this here because it seems like the right thing to do. So I guess I gotta have a bad joke for you. Um, I was named after George Washington. And yeah, probably you're looking at my name going, wait, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Jonna Cochran. And people will call me JJ or Jay or Bird or Univ or Honey or whatever. But I was named after George Washington. And if you can't figure that out, I'll give you the biggest answer here. George Washington was born way before me, so somehow I got named way after him. So I did get named after him, not name-wise, but date-wise. Not everything is as simple as it seems. And let's see, good bit of advice for today. I always like to say, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Because that's important. If you're in an argument, is it worth arguing? Do you just want to be happy? Sometimes I just want to be happy. Well, no, I always want to be happy. I don't always have to be right. It's always nice to hear other people's opinions. But this is my new bit of advice I will share, is if it can be fixed with money, it is not a problem. And if you don't know what that means, maybe you should think about it. But if you have any interesting topics you want to talk about, or any thing, I'm not going to do mukbang where I'm going to eat massive quantities of food. That's just not me. You might see some of my cooking. I am a pretty good cook. I made tamales for the New Year and had company over, and we all had an enjoyable time. Um, Anyways, I don't mean to keep clearing my throat, but sometimes I think I'm coming down with a cold or whatever. It just might be just me nervous clearing my throat. So I hope you all have a great time, a great morning, or a great afternoon, or a great night, whatever it is. And I will see you, well, I'd say tomorrow, but today's already tomorrow because I wanted to start this on the first. So it's after midnight, like I said. So I'll see you later on in the day. Keep happy. Bye.